What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live stream. Tonight, I should say. I figured we'd go over some cool, old time hunting stories. I know many of you guys probably have some, and I like to share some with you guys. So hope you guys follow along. Boom, another live stream getting set up here. Welcome back. As always, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys are live in the stream, be sure to drop a comment down below and let me know some cool hunting stories. That's what we're gonna talk about tonight. But as always, you guys can ask any questions that you want, and I'll try to help you guys out. If you guys are watching the replay, leave a comment down below on some cool hunting stories, or old time stories, or even recent stories, and love to hear them from you guys. I'm gonna get the chat popped out here so I can see what's going on. All right, looks like we're coming through live. SJ Outdoors, what's going on, buddy? Every Tuesday. DIY Solar and Wind, what's going on? Whitetail Outdoors, what's up? What's up, Nate? How you guys doing? So hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are feeling good. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I have, I think, 2.5 days, and 2.5 days we're going to be heading to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to the farm show. It's every year, the Great American Outdoor Show. We're going to be heading up there, having some fun, Saturday and Sunday, Monday, and then I will be coming back home and then heading back up the following Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm super excited to meet a lot of you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are coming up there. If you guys do come up, be sure to stop by the Antler Grove booth, 4120. Say hello. You guys can get some pictures. We can do some videos together, whatever you guys want. So hopefully I can see you guys there. Hunting and Stuff with J&J. What's up, buddy? What's up, John? John made it to the live stream. What's up, Doyle? James Miller, the best part about my Tuesday, had a long, crazy day at work. Same here, man. Same here, James. Had a long day. It's been super crazy this week. All I'm thinking about is Friday at 10 a.m. and I'll start heading to Pennsylvania. Flatland Whitetails, what's up? I'm doing great. Back on the live stream, another Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are doing good. So yeah, so we got this weekend to look forward to. Great American Outdoor Show. I don't know if any of you guys have been there before. Super fun time. You can meet so many different people, so many different companies there. They have some bow shoots, all kinds of stuff. I will be there that first weekend, like I said, with Antler Grove, booth 4120. So I'm super excited about that. Cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait. It's one of the trade shows that I look forward to every single year. I can't wait. Super excited. Whitetail Outdoors got a bunch of stories I'd like to share, but I have too much work to do to sit here and type them out, so I'm just going to listen while I work. No problem, man. Not a problem at all. What's up, Bo? Ready for the snow? It actually snowed here in Maryland for, I think, I don't know, about 2-3 hours this morning, and then it kind of tapered off a little bit, but now it's snowing again. So I checked the weather for Pennsylvania, and it's actually supposed to snow the weekend that we're up there. So I remember last year we were up there and it snowed like crazy. So hopefully this year it kind of holds off, because you know, typically if it snows, a lot of people aren't going to come to the show. So hopefully that holds off. SJ Outdoors, you on yet? We're live, buddy. Refresh your app. Exit out of the app and come back into the video. We are live. John, are you going to have a live show next Tuesday with the show going on? Yes, next Tuesday we'll still be live. I'm coming home Monday night. So I'll be home Monday night. And then Tuesday will be live again. And then Wednesday another video will be released. And then I'll be heading back up to the show on Friday to spend the weekend with Spy Point. So I'll be with Spy Point that second weekend. Hunting stuff with J&J. I'm ready for spring. I am too, man. I cannot wait till springtime. I have a lot of food plot preparation to do. That's like a 3-acre field we're going to be planting. I'm super happy about that. I'm excited. Get some warm weather going on. Danny, what's up, Danny? Super Tuesday, best part of the week. Thanks, man. What's up, Dave? Hope you had a good week so far. Busy week. I've been going non-stop for, I think, 10 days straight. No, 14 days straight. Haven't had a day off work yet. Worked all last weekend. But it's what we got to do. So, yeah. So if you guys have any stories, I came up with this topic tonight because I was at work and I was thinking, how many years have gone by and how different hunting has changed over the years. And I just thought back on all the times that I went hunting when I was, I started out when I was like 12 years old. You know, I always went with my dad when I was younger, and my dad is not a hunter at all. He doesn't necessarily hate hunting. It's just, you know, not something that he enjoys. But even though that he didn't like hunting per se, he would always make sure that he always took me hunting. So no matter when I wanted to go on the weekends, you know, I was always banging on his door, you know, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning saying, Dad, you know, I'm ready to go. And he would get up, even though he worked, you know, all night long. He was on call 24/7 for work. He would always get up. We would drive, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours to the Eastern Shore. And he would always make sure that he would get me in the woods. Always make sure he would get me in the woods. Even though he never hunted, but he would always make sure that I would get in there. And when me and him were always together, something crazy or weird always ended up happening. I remember one time we went fishing, and we went down to Harper's Ferry in I believe it's West Virginia, and he got stuck in quicksand. And it was I can't remember how old I was, 10 years old, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And he got stuck in quicksand, lost his shoes. It was just a crazy story. We had that happen. We had a deer hit us in the side of the truck as we're driving, going like 60 mile an hour down the road, and these deer were running across this field during gun season, and literally ran right into the side of the door, full speed, ran right into the side of the door on the truck. We got lost. I can go on for days with that. But yeah, we had so many times, fun times, weird times, crazy times. But yeah, he always made sure that that I would be in the woods, no matter, pretty much no matter when I asked to go. He would take me. So we always had a good time with that. And then once I was able to drive, you know, at 16, during school, I would always be able to get out half a day of school, on like a work program type thing. And I would work like 2 or 3 days a week after work. And then the other days we would drive, me and a few friends, we would get in my truck and we would drive probably about 45 minutes, and we would hunt, public land, you know, as often as possible, like 5 days a week. We would leave school right away, hop in the truck. We'd have our tree stands in there, and we would just drive, you know, 45, you know, 50 minutes or so to some state land, public land, and we would bow hunt all the time. Free spirit. Hello from the Bahamas. I'll try to send you some warm weather your way. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Would love some warm weather right about now. Flatland whitetails. Funny story. My uncle accidentally shot a buck with a field point. Jumped out of his stand and chased a deer to get a second shot. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Definitely crazy there. And he did it. Daryl's gonna had a deer hit the passenger side of a truck, scared the crap out of me. Dark door and gravel and travel. Yeah. I'll never forget seeing him running across the field, wondering what the heck he is doing. Yeah, that's a funny story for sure. I'm sure we can come up with some crazy stuff just with friends and from stories they've told me and experiences that I had. I was actually heading back from the Harrisburg show last year. I was heading back from the Harrisburg show last year, Sunday afternoon, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm driving about probably 40, 50 miles an hour, and I had the same thing happen to me. I had this deer, it was actually on my driver's side. I'm coming down one lane each way, and I seen it out of the corner of my eye. So I tried to swerve to the right, but the deer literally jumped into the road off this hill, jumped into the road, right into the side of my driver door, and it hit the truck so hard, the truck like skipped to the side, chirped the wheels and everything, and busted the mirror. I couldn't even open my driver's side door up, and the ass end whipped around and hit the bed of the truck, messed that all up, and it was a mess. I ended up getting rid of the truck, but I have a new one now. But yeah, deer always have a tendency to hit me. So I only started hunting 2 years ago at the age of 45. I hunt with my son. He got 2 turkeys 2 years in a row. This year I got my first deer ever, and the stories of people telling me about buck fever. Wow. Yeah. Buck fever gets me with anything. No matter what kind of animal that I see, typically, like, even if it's a doe, I get so worked up. I get like this hot feeling, this hot rush feeling. I start shaking, my heart starts pounding. It's just one of them feelings that you really can't explain to somebody else that has never experienced before. Some of my friends that don't hunt, I always talk about that feeling, and they're like, "Oh, you're crazy, it's just a deer, it's stupid, you can't get excited for that." But I ended up taking one of them a few years ago, and he's like, "Dude, this is the craziest thing. My heart started beating, I was shaking, I got real hot." I said, that's the feeling right there. If you don't get that feeling, then you probably shouldn't hunt. Honestly, I had a friend of mine years ago where his father hunted for 30 years, and all of a sudden his father was hunting and he didn't get excited anymore. He would see animals and he just didn't get that feeling anymore, and he stopped hunting. He never hunted again. It's just one of them things, I guess, really. But if you don't get excited, your heart don't start beating. You don't, I get like this hot feeling, and I start like stuttering, and it's super crazy. But if you don't get that, then most likely you should probably give it up. It felt like I was having some kind of attack. Yeah, it's a crazy feeling for sure. Fishing story. My cousin and I went fishing one evening in the boat on a river near us. We were finishing up carp, and I ended up catching a carp that was already filleted. Yeah, that's crazy too. Almost fell on the back of the boat laughing at me. I'm actually not a huge fishing fan. I do fish every now and then. I just never really got into it. I don't like boats. The kind of fishing that I like is like just out of a little pond or a creek or a river or something like that. I'm not huge on boats. I'm not huge, getting on a boat and driving 20, 30, 40 miles out to fish somewhere. I don't know. If it was my boat and I knew that I could turn around at any time and go home whenever I wanted to, then it might be a different story. But if I go out with somebody else on a boat and their idea and plan is to stay out there all day, I won't go. It's I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just won't go. John, I hunt with a guy that gets sick when it comes time to gut a deer. We all laugh together about it. Yeah. I've never been around anybody that's been sick with it. I know people that have got sick from gutting a deer, or any animal really. I have been with a friend that was dry heaving a little bit. To me, it's never bothered me. It doesn't bother me one bit. The smell, anything. I'm sure we've all done it, but I've accidentally, you cut into the stomach lining there. Everything kind of fills up with air, and you get that burst of gut smell. It's gross, obviously, but it's never really affected me. So lucky with that. Knock on wood. Hunting with Preston. A hog came out when I lowered my hunting bag, and a big 400 hog came out. And can't say if it's dark. You can't see the hog. We look up and see a deer tail. It was crazy. That is crazy. Hunting with Preston. John, we have people in our camp like that. I love the outdoors. It helps me relax. It's my zen time. Yeah. When I go hunting, everything else gets forgotten about. Excuse me. I'm the type of person where if I'm at work and I have something going on at work, a job, or something that I'm working on, when I get off of work and come home, my mind never shuts off. I'm always thinking about it, thinking about what I got to do the next day. But when I go hunting, it's just one of them things where everything shuts off. You get that cool morning, you get the breeze, blowing across your face, the sun comes up, and it's just something where everything else gets forgotten about, and I don't think of anything except hunting. It's just I don't know. It's a unexplainable feeling, and for people that have never hunted before, you just can't really explain it to them. And they, like I said, a lot of my friends mess with me all the time. Like, dude, you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go sit in a tree and freeze. And I said, well, if you've never experienced it, don't criticize it. And we always mess around with each other about it. But I've had friends where I've taken them hunting and they've actually enjoyed it. It's not for everybody, obviously. I have friends that I've taken and they can't stay awake. They fall asleep in the tree. They fall asleep in the truck driving to the hunting spot. You just can't stay awake. Some people aren't early people. I'm always up early. I get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning typically for work every day. So I'm always up early. There are some times where I have to get up earlier than that. So I've always been a morning person. So when hunting season rolls around and I set my alarm for 4 o'clock, as soon as that alarm goes off, I'm up, dressed, and out the door, excited the whole day. When I'm at work, I cannot wait to get off of work and go home, take a shower, and head to the woods. There's nothing more exciting, and I always mess around with my family. Went from the months of September to December. Don't bother me. If you need something fixed or you need help with something, call me throughout the months of January to August. Don't call me any other time. I always end up messing with them because during that time, September to December, I go to work, I come home, I hunt, go back to sleep every single day. There's nothing else more exciting to me than hunting. My son had the camera ready for some funny footage when I got my deer, and guess what? Nothing didn't bother me one bit. Yeah, everybody's different with that. I know some people that can't take it and, you know, get sick or, you know, react, you know, funny with the smell, but it's never really bothered me. I have a cousin that is allergic to deer hair, but still gets out there year after year harvesting venison. That's interesting. Allergic to deer hair. But at least he still goes. You know what I mean? It's something that he likes to do, even though, you know, he's allergic to the hair. But you know, he still gets out there, and that's, yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. About 10 years ago, I was deer hunting on the ground. It was still dark, and I was sitting against a tree at a coyote that was growling off and on, and occasionally got louder at times. Yeah, I actually had that happen when I was in Ohio. I don't even know how long ago it was now. Probably 10 years ago, I guess. Went hunting with an outfitter up there, and the outfitter had dropped me off, and when I was, or actually he got out with me, and we were walking to our stand, and as we were walking early in the morning, still dark out, we could hear the coyotes, and they weren't far away, and they were growling at us for sure. It was a spooky feeling. I think there might have been more than one, but yeah, I'm sure that's happened to many people. SJ Outdoors, I hear you on that. My mind's always running, whether it's what I want to do, life-wise, hunting-wise, but yeah, I can spend all day in the woods because my mind finally shuts down. Yeah, it's the only place that I can go, and where everything else just shuts off. The growl sounded pretty wicked. Amen. Yeah. Amen for sure. So, I'm sure we have all these stories, and we can go on for days. But there's some other stuff that a lot of people I actually have to get my phone out to see, but I posted a video about some questions that a lot of you guys have had, and I didn't get a chance to write them down, so I'm going to go to the video now, and I'm going to check this out, and I'm going to answer some of these questions for you guys. So first question was, hey Dave, I'm planting 2 food plots in the spring. What are some key tips to have good growth? So I actually have a video tomorrow coming out about this. But it's always the same. No matter what you're planting. So everybody listen up. So everybody that's doing food plots, the key thing for optimal growth is pH. Because if you don't have the correct pH, it can't pull the nutrients out of the soil. The plants can't. So anytime that you're planting a food plot, I know everybody wants something quick, and you want to be able to just throw some seed out and it's going to grow. In some cases, it will grow, but most of the time it's not going to. Typically the soil, no matter where you're at, is going to be acidic. So for anything to grow relatively good, you need a pH above 6.0. Anything below a 6.0, most likely you're not going to have good results. So, and this person asked me not to mention their name, but that was their question. So if you want optimal growth on food plots, I don't care what you have to do. If you want it to grow and be palatable to the deer, you have to get a soil sample. Get your soil sample. I actually just dropped a bunch of dirt off last week to get tested They're $12 a piece. I dropped off, I think, 4 or 5 samples. So those as soon as them results come in, I can see what the soil pH is, and I can go from there. I can add some lime and so forth. So yeah, to answer that question, pH. Get the pH checked. So this question comes in, and it says, for food plots, what do you plant, or what do you like to plant late season? So late season, I actually planted this year. You can't go wrong with oats and brassicas, and even some clovers, really. But if you can plant oats and brassicas, it's a perfect combination. Those brassicas are going to be very palatable as soon as you get that first frost. But oats is pretty much will grow pretty much everywhere, as long as that pH is up. They're relatively shade tolerant, because I planted those last year deep into the woods. They had very poor sunlight, just filtered shaded sunlight, and everything grew perfectly fine. They were palatable. The deer tore them up. So oats and brassicas, to answer that question. David says, my coworkers think it's funny during hunting season because that's all I can concentrate on. They say it's hard to have a conversation with me during that time if it's not about hunting. Yeah, for sure. Whitetail Outdoors, my dad's a fertilizer salesman and crop consultant. If you ever need any help with food plots, just let me know. Sounds good, man. Thank you for that. What I've learned, food plots are like anything, that the more work, the better. You can't half-ass it or you'll be let down. You get what you put in, 100%. That's with anything in life. If you half-ass it, you're going to have half-ass results. So people want instant gratification. So no matter what it is in life, you know, when you try to, if you get a piece of property and you want big deer, people want to be able to, you know, dump something on the ground and instantly have, you know, 200-inch deer running around. It all takes time. You know, there's no instant gratification in any of this. So especially with food plots take years and years and years to, you know, be better each year. So the more you put into it this year, the better results you'll have next year. So anytime you're planting a food plot, the key to all that is pH. No matter what, pH, get that pH tested, and you can add the correct amount of lime and you'll have good results. So this question was from Brennan. It says, hey Dave, where do you get the antler grow? So antler grow can be purchased online at antlergrow.com. So this question comes in from, okay, this person asked me not to mention their name. It says, does the Groundhog Max need a 4-wheel drive ATV or UTV, and any tips on how to self-film for the bow hunter and gun hunter for a left-handed shooter? What editing apps do you use? So as far as the Groundhog Max, it is recommended that you have a 4x4 ATV. If you don't have a 4x4 ATV, you can still get away with a 2-wheel drive one. You're just not going to get that depth with the ATV. So, or with the Groundhog Max, you're not going to get that depth as you would if you had that 4x4. So it's still possible, they just recommend a 350 cc four-wheeler to be able to do that. My four-wheeler is actually a 250 4x4, and it'll work perfectly fine. But if you have a two-wheel drive, you're probably going to need a 350. As far as self-filming goes, you're better off. Your best bet is to buy a cheap camera from like Walmart, just something that films HD, and then get that camera and start, learning the settings on it. Buy a cheap camera arm, for $50 or something. Get that set up. Watch YouTube videos. YouTube videos are there to help people. So just go to YouTube. You can find anything that you want, on YouTube. Just search for it. Go in there, watch self-filming videos, but just be patient when you start self-filming, because it can be very frustrating. But you have to just keep it simple, have fun with it, and you can have good results. But don't get overwhelmed with it, because there's so many different cameras, there's so many different external microphones, there's so many different camera arms. Just, if you're not 100% sure that you want to stick with it for forever, just buy a cheap camera. It'll film in HD. Buy a cheap camera arm for probably $50 or so, and start filming things. Go out into the woods, take your camera with you, just start filming, learning how that camera works, different camera angles, and so forth, and you'll have good results. A property is never ending project with great rewards. Yes, no matter what it is, there's no instant gratification, like I said. So what you do this year will benefit next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. And a lot of people forget about the does. The does is what produces that next buck. So to give her the nutrients is going to make her fawns, buck fawn, healthy. So it's all about green and growing plants, food plots, anything green and growing. That's what they live on a daily basis. So if you want healthier deer, give them what they eat on a daily basis. Just make that healthier, and you'll have good results with all that.